Hello, my name is Robert Stark. I'm the father of 4 children, 3 daughters and a son, ages 5, 3, and twins that are 1 year old. I'm a husband to a beautiful wife of 6 years, and we live off-grid in rural Alaska, where I farm and write books. I'm here today to talk about fatherhood, because I want all the dads out there to know that you're not alone and not knowing what the hell you're doing. Because I don't. I didn't have a father to teach me the ways of the world. I only met my dad twice in my whole life. I had 2 stepdads, one who was in the military and one who was a prisoner doing a life sentence. My mother, she did the best that she could. She had to fill the role of father for many years because there's no one to sufficiently fill the role. I joined the military at 17 to learn what it meant to be a man. And when I got out at 22, I had learned some good and some bad. And from the ages of 22 until about 32, I was alone. I was alone in a crowd. I was alone when I had a girlfriend. I was alone with my memories and guilt from war. I was alone in a bottle and in addictions. I ran from the world like my father had done. I ran from the world like so many men do today. I want you to know that I'm there. I've been there. I still have that feeling at least a few times a year to just run away when things get hard. When I get mad and say things that are hurtful. When I don't open up with my wife and she can tell. When I'm tired of the crying of the babies and the bills and the nagging, I often think maybe it would all be better if I ran away. Maybe my kids would be better off. My wife would be better off. The whole family would be better off without me around. And that thought comes and goes pretty quickly because I know it's wrong. Because I did grow up with a father who told me to my face when I was an adult that he ran away. That the best thing that could have happened to me was being raised without him. And I know that's an easy place to dwell in for a negative mind like mine. Now, I'm here to tell you, dads, don't run away. Our children need us. Our wives need us. Our communities need us. We need to step up to the plate. We need to accept responsibility when we hurt people's feelings. We need to open up to our wives, to our kids, admit our wrongs, apologize, suck it up, and move forward. When the bills and the chores and all those things get tough, because they do on a regular basis, we've got to put on the uniform and go to work. We got to go to work. And I don't mean getting a 9-to-5 job. I mean working on the family unit. After I got out of the military, when I was 22 years old, I spent about 10 years wandering from job to job, country to country, seeking peace and purpose, not knowing what I was going to do with my life. I was alone. I wrote a lot. I played music. I made temporary friends and temporary girlfriends. They all came and went. I didn't want a family. I didn't think I was fit to have a family. I believed that God's calling for me was to be a monk living in a temple somewhere or in a cave where I was away from people because I was not only trained in violence, I was raised in violence. And that makes me a violent man. And so I've worked very hard to not only accept the fact that I can be violent, but work to increase the peace in my life through many different avenues. And so when I met my wife and I was 35 years old, and I knew right off the bat that I wanted to marry her and that I wanted to have children, there was a lot of work that needed to be done in order to do so. And not to repeat the family curse of having children grow up without a father. And so I've been sober for a while. I quit drinking, quit all forms of tobacco, drugs, anything. I'd done that before I met my wife. It's now been over 11 years. And I had about 5 years before I met her. I started doing a regular prayer practice, continued my walks, continued exercising, continued getting alone time even after we got married and had our first child, continued working on the things that I believe I was put on earth to do, which is to work my land and to work my pen, whether they make us a lot of money or not. And I've continued to work on the relationship that I have with my wife, which can be very, very challenging. Before I met my wife, I received an email from one of my friends that I was in the military with. I'd sent him a package with a Harley Davidson shirt from Skagway, Alaska. And he wrote me, and in that letter he said, "You know, Bob, you are one of the hardest men I've ever met." And that really made me wonder, why was I so hard? Did I want to be so hard? And how could I change and transform into a gentler, softer, kinder person when it came to my wife, my children, and my community? I understand there is a time and a place for hardness. I live a lifestyle that requires it. However, when I'm talking to my children, who are 5, 3, and 1, I don't need to act like I'm talking to someone who just risked our lives by making a horrible mistake during a patrol in a war zone. I don't need to treat them like they're adults who should know better. I don't need to raise my voice and yell, or raise my hand and slap or hit. I don't need to do those things. I believe with all my heart and soul that my kids don't need dad to scare them in order for them to learn how to live and die well, with dignity and with a strong moral compass. So, first, it was the one child. She was born in 2020 during the COVID lockdowns, when me and my wife had the best year of our lives up to that point, just hanging out together with our child out in the country. 2 years later, we had the second daughter. 2 years later, we had the twins. Now, with each child came more responsibility, came more mouths to feed, came more clothing and toothbrushes and toilet paper and paper towels and demands for attention and the pulling away of my attention from my wives and the division often between my wife and I, who have to take care of each individual child, or now babies and two grown children who act like and think they're adults. So this has been a very challenging task for us. Over the course of 6 years now that we've been married, we've had 4 children. We only dated for 3 months before we got married, so we didn't have a long courting time. And it has been a tumultuous, very difficult, incredibly joyful, humbling experience. Now again, I will repeat the ways that I, as a father now, who was once a son dealing with abandonment issues from my father and lack of male role models, as a writer who understands that somewhere between 50 and 80% of all marriages today end with children being raised by their mother, and hopefully another good man, but often no man around or a part-time man. And that needs to change. How will it change? 1, get over ourselves. Stop being so selfish about our needs, what I have to do. A lot of the things that we've convinced ourselves that we need and the things that we have to do are not real. 2, make the transformation from being a hard-ass man into being a little softer. We all need to be a little bit softer when it comes to talking with our wives and talking with our children and disciplining them. 3, we need to practice open communication with our wives and with our kids. They're not idiots. They're not ignorant of the sneakiness. They need to know what we're going through. Our insecurities, our fears, our challenges, all those things. 4, we got to step up to the plate every day and make a vow to ourselves that today I'm going to be the best father that I can be and the best husband. And that running away is not an option. It's not. Don't even think about it. When it comes up, boop, let it go. 5, we need to continue to have a purpose in our lives that is greater than just our family. For me, it's farming and writing. I think about the other people that are out there in this world who will be touched by what I do with those things. For you, it's probably something else. But have a bigger purpose, have a bigger community than just the family. 6, quit being so damn secretive. Open up with people. Make friends. Build a community. Invite your neighbors over for dinner. You know, we all need to experience the fear of being vulnerable with other people. We're community-oriented animals. We're tribes people. I don't care where your ancestors are from. That's how humans have existed since the beginning. We need each other. So we need to stop isolating as individuals and as our families. And that will allow us to broaden that network of support and to support each other. 6, exercise. Don't let yourself go just because you've got kids and a wife. Your wife wants somebody who's healthy. Your kids needs somebody who's healthy. We need healthier people, man. There's too many obese people. I'm not like fat phobic or anything, but we need to be healthy on the inside and on the outside. That sets a standard for our children, for our families, for our marriages, in our communities. And lastly, number 7, don't give up. Don't ever give up. When the screaming starts from the babies and the wife starts crying and the kids start yelling, just take a deep breath, step out on the porch for a few minutes, come back inside, and hold the baby. Sit down with the children. Watch a movie. You don't need to work all the time. It's not just about making money to provide financially. It's about providing comfort, security, showing them that we love them every day throughout the day. Not just telling them. This ain't show and tell here. It's be supportive of our children, of our wives, of each other. And so we need to put our needs and our wants on the back burner. And we need to do what we got to do. We got to not run away. And we got to support our families, man. So it's not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, the most rewarding. And to watch these children grow and depend on me and love me and act like me puts even more pressure on me every day. But I got to thank God every day for that pressure, for that responsibility, and not shirk the responsibility, not slip into that way of thinking that is so wrong that everybody would be better off without me. Don't go there. Lastly, if you know you got a problem with drinking and drugs and alcohol and whatever else, just stop, man. Don't think it's helping you. Don't think it's helping your anxiety or your sadness or your depression. Just stop. You're not fooling anybody and you're wasting tons of money and time. So, quit numbing yourself and life will be a lot better after time. So, that's all I got today on fatherhood. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, click subscribe, hit the thumbs up and the little bell for notifications. And I'll talk more about fatherhood and other things as they arise. Like I said, I'm not a therapist or a counselor or professional. I'm just an everyday guy who never thought I would be in the place I am today. And I got to share this experience with others. So, stay tuned for more. Thanks again. See ya.